Hello everyone on the internet. Today we're gonna discuss the new development regarding George Floyd. Now I'm pretty sure everyone knows who George Floyd is at this point, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Not exactly recently, but a while back, video footage regarding George Floyd's death has been released into the public in its entirety. Now before I go any further, I must openly talk about the two sides of this ongoing argument. We have one side that thinks what the police officers did was outright despicable, and as such they believe that the officers involved need to be charged with murder. I must also say that the side I'm talking about openly believes that what happened to George Floyd was racially motivated. I'm not going to lie, at some point that was my firm belief as well. Mainly because upon research I found out that Minnesota police used 7 times more force on black people than they do whites. Minnesota law enforcement also have an ongoing history of police abuse. I will put the article regarding that in the link below. As I was saying, I was one such group, but upon watching the full footage and reading some comments on the matter as well a little bit of research, I've come upon a new conclusion. However, there will always be those who will disagree no matter what I say, and of course at the end of the day I did make this channel based on my own opinion, so feel free to come up with your own conclusion on the matter. Upon watching the footage, I've come to realize that officers weren't exactly fully in the wrong. George Floyd himself was indeed resisting arrest, however the police officers involved should still be held in some form of accountability. I say this because on George Floyd's first supposed toxicology report it says that he died due to an overdose. I question this because in the video he showed no outward signs of being high based on his dialogue with the police officer. 2 different toxicology reports also don't help in solving matters. However, I read one that says he was on weed and the drugs themselves weren't enough to kill him. I will also put that and the video itself in the description. It is important to take note that while he was resisting arrest, George Floyd told the officers he couldn't breathe. Now this was before Derek decided to put his knee on the man's neck. It could be argued that the officers thought he was lying. That being said, I still firmly believe that what the officers had done still isn't right. They didn't at least consider that George Floyd was telling the truth, nor did they need to put a knee on his neck for 8 minutes straight, especially after or was clear that Floyd was unconscious. In my opinion, after someone completely blacks out, they're no longer an immediate threat and as such needs to be dealt with swiftly and accordingly. It could be argued that the officers felt threatened, but if you're afraid of someone who's no longer actively moving nor showing signs of life, then you're honestly a low-life pussy at that point. With that being said, that doesn't mean that there aren't deaths due to racial bias committed by police officers. With that being said, the racism game has changed. It's not just a white on black thing like it has been 100 years ago. In fact, in Africa there has been reports of blacks killing white farmers. Not just that, but there are other races out there who commit racism and then proceeds to make excuses about it. Apparently black people can't be racists towards white people because they don't have the leverage that white people have or some stupid shit like that. Not only does that scream that you're ignorant as fuck, but it also makes the rest of us look bad. Newsflash: black people weren't the only slaves to exist. Hell, at one point we were enslaved by our own people, and before you say anything, no, that doesn't make what happened in the past right, but it helps you give perspective when you need it. You know, despite 2020 being quite possibly a complete fuckboy, excuse my France, it has also taught me a lot of things. For one, it taught me to look beyond what people say and take time out my day if need be in order to come up with my own conclusion, and I have. For one, both Republicans and Democrats in office are both fucking terrible. 2, Trump and Biden are both racist. 3, a lot of people can't handle the truth even if it's right in their face. 4, politics are slowly killing this country from the inside out. 5, and this in regards of my newfound channel name. You see, after some thought I realized that in interacting with police officers you need to have an open mind. However, that doesn't mean I am openly with nor against them. I myself simply stand in the middle of the argument. By calling something bad solely by your experience and or what others tell you, you're limiting yourself and your mindset. The same argument could be said in reserve. I am no way saying that you can't eventually come up with your own collision. Hell, at the end of the day America was built, fought for, and thrives off of the opinions of others. At the end of the day we can only focus on what we agree as a whole than disagree. With that being said, I thank everyone for watching if you indeed are, and I hope 2021 is the year you can truly blossom as an individual.